Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Depending on which part of the world you are, there's still a whole lot of crazy things going on in today's world. I can guarantee you, it doesn't matter which part of the world you're in, there's something bound crazy that's happening. So, one of the first things that we're going to discuss today is the recent bridge collapse in Baltimore. And there's a whole lot of red signs, a lot of red flags, a lot of suspicions as far as exactly what happened. Come on, folks. Let's use a little bit of critical thinking. We can't always assume and believe what the mainstream media tells us. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a new perspective, a twilight perspective on our world and what's going on. So just kind of wait around a little bit to see if anyone wants to join in and kind of discuss this whole Baltimore Bridge key collapse. Be nice to get some other opinions as far as exactly what happened. But to me, I believe there's a lot more than what meets the eye. So before we jump into exactly the details as far as why I believe it was a potential cyber attack and not a accident. So yeah, pretty amazing to see one of America's most important bridge systems, especially for trade and economic value, be destroyed. Especially for such a large cargo ship to crash into such a small bridge. So, okay. So the first thing that jumps out with this whole incident is the fact that the ship completely turned off. I mean, it lost complete power. And then after losing complete power, it crashed straight into a bridge. And a lot of people are questioning these circumstances. A lot of people are saying maybe the ship was hijacked. And this could be a very strong possibility, especially with the recent accusations by the US blaming foreign adversaries for some recent cyber attacks. So, definitely a very interesting situation. You can definitely expect a lot more cyber attacks. And then one of the most alarming situations is the possibility of cyber AI attacks. So there's been a lot of speculation, and actually, Microsoft caught recently, they said in the news that they caught some of our foreign adversaries, hacking groups, utilizing generative AI to try and figure out and basically make their cyber attacks a lot more sophisticated. So definitely some strange security situations going on. And then a lot of people fail to realize that involved with two potential wars, one in Ukraine, and then also one in the Middle East. And then also we have the potential conflict with China. So a very scary possibility that hackers can actually utilize AI along with cyber attacks. And then a lot of people have been pushing for the military to create their own distinctive branch specifically for cyber attacks. And this branch is going to be called Cyber Force. And it's going to be right along with all the other branches, such as the Navy, Air Force, and so forth. Definitely a lot more than what meets the eye involving this whole incident. A lot of people say it could have potentially been a cyber attack. Something very interesting to think about here, especially with the whole circumstances involving the event as well. Isn't that a very scary situation to think about the possibility of AI cyber attacks? And there's been a lot of speculation that this will be a great possibility in 2024. And then also a lot of the government officials and so forth, they're worried about these hackers being able to utilize chat GBT to come up with more sophisticated ways of attacking our critical infrastructure. So a lot of people fail to realize that if one of these sophisticated cyber attacks, gets access to one of our critical infrastructures, such as our water systems, our rail services, and all of the above, that it would be complete chaos. And then actually in 2021, there was a similar attack on the Colonial pipeline. And basically what happened was that there was a ransomware attack on the Colonial pipeline, and it actually shut off gas to the eastern seaboard for a couple of days. And this actually created complete chaos. People were stuck, they had nowhere to go due to the fact that one of these major pipelines was targeted with ransomware. So a lot of people kind of just shrug it off like it's nothing, but there's a very strong possibility that one of these more advanced cyber attacks could potentially target one of our critical infrastructure systems. So, and then also another piece of news that a lot of people may not have heard of, but we're in a new era for the search of mysterious particles. Because what's going on is that a lot of people don't know is that CERN is coming up with a lot of new projects. And one of these new projects is basically they have a new advanced way of being able to detect possible ghost particles because 95% of our universe is dark matter. So basically, we're only seeing 5% of what's actually out there. So definitely, so basically, CERN has what it's called a ship, and it's basically a search for these mysterious particles, and it's basically a collaboration of um, 54 institutions in 18 countries and it's a new project to try and find this mysterious ghost particle. And then basically one of the main concepts of it is what they're going to do is use a proton to target a specific area with a proton. And then hopefully once they target this specific area with a proton, these particles will start appearing. And then what they're hoping for is that within these particles, hopefully one of the ghost particles will appear. So definitely some big time news going on with CERN that a lot of people don't know about, but there's definitely what they're calling it is a new frontier for the search of mysterious particles. Definitely a lot of things going on. Yeah. A lot of people have always speculated as far as exactly what CERN is doing in their laboratories and what type of effects they would have. If something really major happened with CERN, do you think they would tell us? because we're playing with science and theories and stuff that we really don't understand. So it's definitely kind of shocking to know that CERN has a lot of new projects up ahead, especially for 2024, with investigating these so-called ghost particles. And they're actually going to build a new machine. I believe it's called the Future Circular Collider Machine. And basically, it's an upgrade from the previous collider machine. So that's always been a popular topic, CERN and what they've been involved with and so forth. But this is something you really haven't seen on the news because there's so many conspiracy theories involving CERN, and that probably would alarm a lot of people to know that they're going full forward with this ghost particle and being able to identify the other 95% of the universe. Because the universe is made up of 95% of dark matter. And we're only seeing 5% of what's actually out there. So definitely a very interesting situation with CERN. There's no telling what type of effects that these projects could have on the environment, but it looks like they're going full throttle as far as being able to try and discover exactly what these ghost particles are. CERN is not joking around. They have some major moves going on. They're building new machines. They're putting together new teams to try and, they're really trying to get to the bottom as far as exactly what dark matter is and what these mysterious ghost particles are. So, a lot of speculation going on as far as exactly who they are and what they're doing. So, these are definitely strange times. A lot of people don't know what's going to be on the news when they wake up tomorrow. It's like playing Russian roulette. Is there going to be a cyber attack? Is there going to be a terrorist attack? No. But I'm definitely kind of concerned as far as exactly what CERN has up their sleeves. What's the end game as far as exactly what they want to do? They really haven't, CERN hasn't really gave a definitive purpose as far as exactly what they're trying to do, what they're trying to explore, other than trying to figure out exactly what dark matter is. That's for sure. And then also in my previous live stream, I mentioned the potential risk of bird flu and bird flu actually being in South America and killing thousands and thousands of sea lions. And that was something I actually mentioned on my previous live stream a few days ago. I said bird flu was going to be a major threat. And I broke down all of the statistics as far as exactly what's going on in South America with the 20,000 dead sea lions in South America. And then 2 days later, after my live stream, apparently they found, and that was just, I believe it came out today, but they found traces of the bird flu in cattle. In cattle in Kansas, New Mexico, and Texas. This is actually one of the first times that the bird flu has been detected in our livestock. And not only was the bird flu detected in these American uh, cattle, but from what I've been told, from what I've seen from the news stories, a lot of these farms also have a tremendous amount of dead birds just all within their farm, on the ground, all over the place. So that's definitely a very strange correlation. And what's even more frightening is that it seems like the bird flu has spread from South America all the way to the United States. And there's also been a lot of speculation as far as does the bird flu impact humans? Is the meat contaminated? Is it safe? So these are a lot of new questions that a lot of people don't know. And of course, the media will never, ever tell you the truth as far as exactly what's going on. And then you also have to consider not too long ago, you know, maybe about a year or two ago, we also had the incident of the mysterious cattle deaths in Kansas, where hundreds and hundreds of cattle just perished, and no one knew why. And farmers and people still don't know why. What happened to these cattle? It's still a big mystery as far as exactly what happened to those hundreds of cattle that just perished overnight. So then also with global warming, you have to expect a lot more dangerous diseases and viruses, especially with permafrost. Because what happens with permafrost is that you have all of these ancient diseases and viruses that have been dormant for thousands of years. But due to global warming, especially within the Arctic and these cold regions, a lot of these dangerous viruses, a lot of them wiped out whole populations of animal species. A lot of them are being revived today due to the melting of permafrost. So that's another very scary possibility as well. So, whole lot of strange things going on in today's world. That's for sure. And then, of course, we have the whole situation going on with Diddy, you know. Um, seems like more of like a media circus than anything. Fortunately, it's a bad situation. This is a common reoccurring theme when it comes to uh, black men and melanated men. Because I can guarantee you there's other celebrities out there, other movie stars who've done way worse than what he's done, but they're taking it to the extreme. And most of this is due to propaganda and so forth. So, a lot of interesting things going on all across the world. But all we can do is just hope for a better tomorrow. Because a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen from day to day. We're in multiple wars, multiple diseases, immigration crisis, inflation, so many things going on that we've never been in a time as biblical as this. from diseases to floods to AI technology threats. It's never been this bad. That's for sure. So, but one of the positive upbeats to this whole bird flu situation, especially with them finding the actual bird flu for the first time in US cows, is that what they're speculating is that most of this virus can be removed due to the pasteurization of the milk. So let's hope with some science and technology, we can kind of bypass these viruses and diseases and so forth that get within our food systems. So very interesting situation to know that the bird flu was found in US cattle in Kansas, Texas, and New Mexico. So let's see what transpires over the next few weeks. What type of protocols will transpire? Knowing that we have found the bird flu in cows in Kansas, New Mexico, and Texas. And I can guarantee you, if they knew this bird flu could jump to humans, if they knew the actual risk and actual dangers of this bird flu, they would not tell us. It'd be kept secret because we're talking about billions and billions of dollars that would be lost if people knew that the bird flu was in their steaks and chickens and turkeys and so forth. The meat industry is not a joke. They're just as bad as the tobacco industry. Anything that hurts their profit and bottom line, they'll take out all threats at any at all cost. So it's going to be very interesting to see what type of steps, mitigations that are taken within the next few days or weeks to mitigate this potential bird flu being found in the cattle supply. So definitely a tough situation for meat eaters. This is something that we've never ran into before, this type of situation. And then also, this is not even a topic that I really want to bring up, but it's very mysterious. You can't deny the mysterious nature of the monoliths, the new monolith that was recently discovered. I believe it was near Wells. A lot of people are speculating it could be from outer space. No one really knows. Be nice to get some opinions as far as what people think of the monoliths that have been recently discovered, most recently in Wells. Is it some type of art project? Is it something more? What do these monoliths mean? To me, the scary part about these monoliths is that they're correlating during a time where, we're seeing biblical events happen all across the world, whether it's unknown diseases, flooding, wars, and so forth. So a lot of people speculate that these monoliths could be a sign of the end of times. So, some interesting topics discussed today, from the Baltimore Bridge key collapse being a potential cyber attack, from the bird flu moving from South America, now being found in cows in America, in the milk of cows. Definitely some alarming events for America, because not only is our infrastructure in jeopardy due to cyber attacks, but also our food supply is in jeopardy as well. To me, this almost seems like an obscure attack on America. You know, war was not the same as it was in World War One, Two, and Three. You know, now the way we fight wars is through cyber attacks, through chemical attacks, through economic chess moves, such as real estate and so forth, and driving up inflation, and giving the populations of other adversaries unknown diseases and chemical attacks. That's the new way of warfare in 2024 and beyond. The new warfare for 2024 is going to be through, it's not going to be troops on the ground. It's going to be attacking our infrastructure, chemical warfare, diseases, and so forth. So definitely a strange correlation to know that we have bird flu and one of the most important food supplies in America. And then not only on top of that, a very important piece of American infrastructure was also destroyed too as well. So connect the dots, and you can see an image. That's for sure. That's for sure, because too much of a coincidence for there to be bird flu in cows, that's like American culture. That's like American hatred. Like, you're attacking the American soul. Like, Americans are afraid to eat cheeseburgers and hot dogs. That sounds like someone who hates America. Taking away hot dogs and cheeseburgers from the American population through the bird flu. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. This is only the beginning. You can expect a lot more worse as far as our food supply, diseases, contamination, and then also major attacks on U.S. critical infrastructure. So expect a lot more. Anything is possible from day to day. We can turn on the news, anything can happen. There can be a terrorist attack, there could be a war. That's for sure. But one of the most important aspects of this whole situation is just not letting all of the negative news and topics and stories get to your mind. Because one of the main goals of media, mainstream media, is to impact the mass consciousness of people and create this negative type of gloom and doom uh, mind state scenario. Because with fear, the more fear that we have on the news with wars, diseases, and so forth, the easier it is to control the population. So, fear is a way to control people, especially Americans. Because Americans are a lot more afraid than other countries. So, doesn't take much to spook an American, whether it be a war, a potential terror alert. But I think we've covered all bases. We've discussed some very interesting topics. And we're only going to get better, discuss more topics because the world is so crazy. There's so many things going on that, a lot of people are afraid that this may be biblical times. More hatred, more division, more racism, more than ever. America is actually reverting back to its old American ways. So, okay, kind of just to kind of give an overview. So, the potential threat of a cyber attack, specifically an AI cyber attack, looms within the near future. So, people prepare, be aware that technology is more advanced than what it's ever been. What they're telling us, what they're releasing to the public as far as the technology, you know, it's probably 50 years less advanced than what we actually have. We have things that are 100 years more advanced than what's being let to the public. So, yes, these hackers, especially foreign adversaries, can basically hack and do anything. They have the potential to do anything, to disrupt our supply chains, to shut down major financial institutions. And a lot of people are so comfortable with their everyday lives being able to have gas, water, electricity, and so forth, especially Americans, that these foreign adversaries are extremely smart. They know if one of these major critical infrastructure systems went off, it would cause complete chaos. If people weren't able to purchase gas, access their banks, get water, it would be complete chaos. And our foreign adversaries are extremely smart. They know that Americans are comfortable. We love convenience. We pay for convenience. That's why there's so many fast food restaurants in America. So if there was some type of disruption to our critical infrastructure, it would be complete chaos, especially for Americans. So just a quick little few things to think about. I'm going to be live streaming a lot more. We're going to try and be doing this, every other day at least. This is only going to be a progression. This is kind of just like a test run to get the feel of the situation. And here, we don't talk about, flowers and roses. We actually talk about real life scenarios that a lot of people won't touch or won't discuss. But this is exactly what mainstream media, especially American media, has lost. Our ability to question the system, have our own minds, critically think, be innovative, question everything. And that's what we're here today to do, is to ensure that you guys question everything and stay aware. Thank you.